Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Summit 3 America. We're in Phase 2, lower bracket action. We are getting down to the wire. These teams just one step away from making their spot here at the Summit land, but they got a tough test ahead of them. Leading things in, we got Leviathan taking on KotLGuy in this best-of-3 matchup, and we just witnessed KotLGuy, even after what seemed like a bit of a struggling start for them, they stayed cool and composed, and they managed to eat up Leviathan whole with over a 30K net worth advantage in a long-winded, hour, 65-minute match. It was intense, but here we are in game number 2. I'm KotLGuy bringing you the coverage, and I'm joined remotely from my good buddy Maut. Maut, we'll have to see if Leviathan can even things up and try to take it to a game number 3. Do you think there's going to be any sort of key points that they need to go for in order to try to get a win under the belt at this point?
I think the biggest thing they've already done is banning Axe. The past 4 or 3 games or something like that, KotLGuy have played Axe to a phenomenal point, and I think that hero is just too good because he's a lot like the Batrider in the sense that you could just head to the jungle if you're not having a great offlane. And Jenkins had the biggest issue. If you look at offlane versus offlane strictly in the last matchup, Jenkins was like level 1 when you looked at Z-Freak. He was like level 4 and had Trinkles at that point in time. So make the offlane work for his farm. Don't give him a free ride. And Axe is also so good at initiating. The Axe coupled up with the Storm Spirit was very solid. KotLGuy, I haven't seen them go Shadow Fiend, and I don't think they go Shadow Fiend against Lina. They could pick up the Storm again here, although that's not the greatest matchup. Lina does pretty well against Storm early on. So I think number 1 was get rid of the Axe, and number 2, pick a hero that does well against Storm so that it's a tough matchup for KotLGuy if they want to go for it. Also, don't let Zissou get like a 10-minute Midas on Silencer. Just don't let, I don't know what you have to do, but don't let that happen.
Yeah, there definitely was a period there where they kind of neglected that top lane for what felt like over 10 minutes that allowed that Silencer to just work with that Midas, and then next thing you know, he's got an Agnum Scepter, and he had more farm than the offlaner from both sides. It was pretty ridiculous there. So it looks like KotLGuy, they get one of the best offlane initiators you could ask for in the Batrider. So Leviathan, they see this, they might need to take, precautions to it. For a while, it seemed like everyone was just like, okay, immediate Vengeful Spirit, but Vengeful Spirit as a whole just hasn't really been around. Suddenly, she's just kind of on the sidelines, off the radar. It's a bit interesting to see that, so I'm curious to see what Leviathan can do to take steps against this Batrider initiation.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, you could go for Avenge here for Leviathan to swap out. You could pick up, like, a Destructor, which, yeah, they'll go for the Vengeful Spirit.
Okay,
so
there she is.
I mean, that's the most common choice, and for KotLGuy, now they just have to, like, initiate on Vengeful Spirit and lasso her. Earthshaker would have been another good option for Leviathan, and they picked that hero a lot. Surprisingly enough, they banned it against KotLGuy, and I think Earthshaker is very good against Batrider as a counter initiator. Brew's not bad. Make him use his lasso. Just pick up heroes that you want a lasso.
Yeah.
Like get a multitude of them, get a number of them, and make his life hard. How do I choose which one to go on? What do I do here? So I think that's what you have to do as the Batrider. And again, we talked about it for Leviathan. They ban out the Axe, and you don't want to give away like a free offlaner that can just go to the jungle at any point in time. And unfortunately, the Batrider is available for Leviathan. So KotLGuy grab it up. They'll be able to have probably the same start that Z-Freak had last game. And he'll be able to get his farm without any issue whatsoever.
A couple of things to look out for is the possible chance that Leviathan could go for the Jenkins Queen of Pain. Jenkins, I can't remember if it was over a tweet or just a private message, but he did imply that if he was to get a hold of the Pudge or the Queen of Pain, he would feel very comfortable, and that is something that the other squad we need to look out for. So as it's still available in the pool, has great mobility, and it's something that they do run from time to time here. We'll see if it's something, but they do, again, ban out the Chen here, knowing that the recent stand-in here for KotLGuy, Zissou, as you said in the last series, is their Chen player, and, well, when you got one of those, which you don't get many of them here in NA Dota, you want to really take advantage of it because he could just add so much to the game as a whole, but more bans to fly out. Slark was also removed from the side of KotLGuy here, and they're just going to look to hit him. Leviathan for Lina now, it looks like they have run it as a support, but more often than not, this should be Shibi's grab in the mid lane. So also finding someone who can take it to Lina. It could be, like you said, the Storm Spirit here. They could always get the Queen of Pain themselves, but we'll have to see. Anyone who kind of percolates the other Maut that can be a good contender here to take it to Lina?
I like Viper a lot.
You're disgusting.
Well, I mean, I do like the hero. I am disgusting. Don't get me wrong on that. But I also think that He's very good against Lena because of his magic resistance. It's a good matchup. He's tanky. He's able to survive the onslaught. He could bring Lena down. It's one of the lanes where Lena is just that range isn't going to help her as much. I think Viper is a good option. And it also provides a lot of ganking ability, a lot of early game team fight. It's a hero that's seen a little bit of play recently, not too much. Anything else that I think Queen of Pain's fine. I think Storm Spirit's fine, but those aren't heroes that really thrive against the hero. It's tough because she has such a long range and she has so much nuke damage early in the game, so it's not easy. But KotLGuy are kind of drafting around it. I think that Lion is very good against Lena with the initiation potential he has. Like Jug, obviously, with the Blade Fury. It just comes down to what you want to put mid.
Yeah.
And that's really just up to KotLGuy what Swindle plays. And he's played a lot of Sniper and Shadow, or not Shadow Fiend, but Storm. And Shadow Fiend Sniper not available. They could still go for the Storm. I'm not sure if that's the best option, though.
They have dabbled with a Templar Assassin in a previous matchup they had against Lena as well. Good. So it's something else they can go for. Usually Templar Assassin you like to have on the dire side with that small bit of an edge towards the Roche pit, but still something they can go for if they want more of a true right-clicker who can look to dominate the lane and obviously snowball way past the Lena here. But this could be our Jenkins pick here, the second grab, or the third grab rather here for Leviathan, and it is going to be that Queen of Pain I said to look out for. He feels very comfortable with this hero. I don't know if it's more comfortable than his old signature Pudge, but he has definitely been putting in the mileage. I mean, it was just yesterday where they had that marathon of a game, and, you know, Jenkins playing that Queen of Pain was very persistent, had great positioning, set up some huge sonic waves, kept the pressure built up on the other side, and, well, he's going to look to do a bit of the same here.
It kind of rivals the Magnus pick from the last game. It's sort of similar. You don't really have, it's not like you're the team fight initiator, but you run in and you do so much damage with your Sonic Wave and your Scream of Pain. You're not, I don't know, this lane is kind of rough. A Lion, Jug plus whatever else they get. I feel like you could even go for another Scarith Mage and just be fine against an on-fight Queen of Pain, and then you're kind of in a rough spot if you're Leviathan because you're not getting farm again on your offlaner. So Jenkins is like, he's a glutton for punishment, it feels like, at this point with some of the offlane heroes he picks, like even the Pudge too. But it's more about getting your 6, kind of fighting. It's a lot like a Clockwork where you just need your level 6 to, or even like your 4 points in Scream of Pain, one of the two, and then you just blow up heroes. So that's always an opportunity. I mean, we're not even sure that this isn't like a mid Queen of Pain and a safe lane Lena, but I doubt that's the case. And there's the Viper coming up from KotLGuy, so that is exactly the hero I thought would be best suited in the mid lane. It might not be mid. They could play it in the off lane. I think it might have been Leviathan who's done that recently, but
Ziz has played a safe lane farming Viper, though, with the Jug pickup already. I wager he's just going to do a repre of the Jug from the last game. So more often, or I'm anticipating this, will be a mid lane Swindle
I think
Viper. So there is flexibility on the side of Leviathan. They can always make the audible call to switch up Lena to more of a support position and get someone else to possibly go toe-to-toe here with Viper in the mid lane. But I don't know if it's really worth building so much around trying to counterback this Viper. But a good pick nonetheless here for KotLGuy, just the old standard that many people hate in their pub play. But, you know, it's Leviathan also maybe they keep with the female
What don't you hate in your pub game, though? That's the thing.
Yeah,
for
right.
Dota.
It's troll,
somebody could have
it's
like
sniper,
the most like, somebody could have the worst build ever, and you're just like, oh, he's disgusting. Who would ever do that? What what an asshole. It's just like, oh, we have like a Morphling who went like Boots of Travel Midas first. And you're like, who does that? Like what?
Merlini probably.
Yeah. I mean,
Boots of Travel Midas is just kind of his motto
that's his
there.
Jam.
Yeah. Leviathan, maybe a female here. They have a really nice, beautiful lineup. Maybe they look to build on top of that a little bit further here, but they could just kind of go with their secondary support if it's still going to be the mid Lena, and it looks like that is the case. So, yeah, you know, chills things out a bit, I guess, with him in comparison to someone like Lena, and it does prevent, like, the healing ward from Jug, the sustained power there, can prevent Bat Rider if he gets hit early on from an Ice Blast from having a good blink setup along with Lion. You know, this could be something that kind of ties together with the Shredder pickup here at the end, but just kind of feels a bit safe for now.
Yeah, I would have preferred a Zeus pickup for Leviathan in the support position for exactly the reasons you mentioned in stopping a Bat Rider lasso. I don't know if you saw, but it was Asus Polar versus Evil Geniuses in Dota Pit a couple of days ago, and I've never seen Universe have such a bad time in his 2 games of Bat Rider. Little Zeus ults have been absolutely ridiculous in stopping blink initiations from a Bat Rider static field as well. Is pretty helpful with that. I think Zeus is good in the sense that he can burst down a lot of these heroes, but then you have to deal with the Viper magic resistance. And also, Ice Blast is very good because you're probably going to get a mech on a Viper. And one way to stop that from really working out is to Ice Blast, and you won't be able to mech. And I think that's a solid choice. AA Vengeful Spirit's a pretty solid combo as well. I don't have any problems with it. It's really hard to aggro Tri-Lane into, so I don't think Complexity will do that. I don't know if they get a kill on this Batrider. I don't think he's going to go down, but... and I don't even know if they can rotate and try to get kills in the mid lane Viper. I don't think that's going to be really something either. So it's just kind of making Leviathan safe lane a bit safer.
That's a good ban. I was going to say it'd be very surprised if Complexity passed on the chance to get a Skywrath Mage if it was still there, but it will be banned. They could still fall back for something like a Witch Doctor who does provide a good stun, can take advantage of a lasso setup with his Death Ward. Outside of that, I don't think it's going to be necessary at this point to go more greedy and get something like an Enigma. You already have your mech candidate with Viper, plus you're going against an AA, so the mech altogether seems a bit finicky as it is. Yeah. Other than that, they can be defensive and pick up something like a Dazzle, let's say, if they kind of want to, you know, make sure they have everyone nice and secure. But it's going to be a Zeus, so lots of burst, good global presence, great map control and vision, and, you know, a run-of-the-mill top-notch dewarder as well. So can't really hate on that. You know, he's not going to be probably dishing out huge amounts of early farm potential. So
it's like the Silencer last game. They're going to give Juggernaut the jungle. Eventually, Zeus will get bottom lane to farm for a period of time, and then he'll have, you know, Midas into whatever he wants, like an Negative Scepter. So that's the problem, is that, again, don't give some, like I said this at the beginning of the draft, but don't give Zissou a hero that he could, I said Silencer specifically, and don't let him get a 10-minute Midas, but it's the same sort of concept. And now Zeus has more burst damage. It could be a bit more effective earlier on in the game, so they don't have to wait as long. Leviathan go for the Lycan. They just don't really have the initiation. I think they're really, really counting on Shibby to hit some big LSAs, to maybe get an early Yule's Blink. But it's kind of lacking that team fight, although Queen of Pain's there. This is more of a split push, get kind of a couple of ganks coming out from Leviathan's lineup, and Complexity has, I think, a more well-rounded lineup. So I prefer Complexity's lineup here, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that Leviathan could absolutely stun me and take this game. So. Yeah,
yesterday we did see Leviathan roll around the Lycan pickup here. They did have the benefit of having the Batrider on their own side to add that bit of lockdown for Lycan to easily chew through the target, but they did end that matchup against E-Hug yesterday in only 25 minutes time, so this is a more high-tempo possible build-up here from Leviathan, whereas last game it was very slow and methodical. This time we might see a bit more brash coming out from both sides with the lineup they currently got. So we'll have to see if that's going to be the case here, though. We get started now in game number 2 of this best-of-3 matchup. It's Summit 3 by Gigabyte, and, well, we're in the lower bracket, and it's match point for Complexity. They win this one, they move on, and Leviathan can say goodbye to their Summit 3 road unless they really campaign for a redemption vote, which they have a lot of top teams to beat out. Neither team want to be in that kind of situation. So Leviathan looking to bounce back here. I'll lead out introductions here on your dire side. It is Leviathan with the good old early Leviathan smoke movement. Out in front, we got Flying Zebra playing your support Vengeful Spirit. Nusham right behind playing your Ancient Apparition. We got Jenkins who's playing one of his favorites, the Queen of Pain. Shibby who's going to be playing the Lena. And that will leave Shredder up at the top lane. He's going to be playing your Lycanthrope.
On the side of Complexity, the Radiant team, they just need this victory and they move on. And that would put them 1 series away from moving into the Summit. Should be huge for them. We'll see if they can take this game, take the series, and send Leviathan home. Down to the bottom lane, Complexity have Ziz on the Juggernaut. I do want to mention this real quick. He actually got RP'd earlier on in the game, and I was wondering why he wasn't stunned, and I think I even asked you, and he messaged me earlier right after that game, and he's like, oh, by the way, I meant to dodge that. I'm like,
he's like, I want to make sure you let everyone know that I did something pimp right there. You know, I did the Manta dodge, which, yeah, that does make a lot more sense. It was just that quick trigger finger reaction when you know that something could be lurking in the dark. You got to be ready to slam that button down. And
lurking in the dark, he might be in trouble here. He hasn't skilled anything yet. Flying Zebra, Ziz backs up just as they're walking down the hill. That was moments away from it being Magic Missile and maybe a kill with an LSA follow-up, but that's not the case. Continuing on with the introduction, Squee on the line down bottom in the middle lane. Rotating to the jungle, it's going to be Zissou playing the Zeus. Middle lane, it is going to be Swindle Melons going on the Viper. I really hope he gets phase boots, especially in this game with all the squishy heroes. He will destroy them. Top lane, it's going to be Z-Freak on the Batrider to round it out, who will probably head to the jungle at some point in time. He'll Firefly the wave quickly and move from there.
Yeah, Shredder's going to need his help to come and try to zone this Batrider back, because he's not going to have a very good time comfortably farming with this frickin' fire all over the place. So Flying Zebra is nearby, and they will benefit from that, not just howl damage, but an early chilling touch. So their right click becomes pretty devastating, and something that Batrider needs to make sure he can kind of keep in check. He has a fair amount of regen. He's got the boots first, obviously, and then 4 tangos. And it looks like early on Zizou's going to be on the creep stacking duty, trying to at least build up a lot of gold here in this mid lane. More than likely for that Batrider to burst towards his Blink Dagger.
Yeah, this is Batrider should get a lot. However, they're dedicating 3 heroes to him in this top lane. Meanwhile, Zizou down bottom is actually heading towards mid, and they're kind of just letting Squee do all the work against Jenkins. But Earth Spike will connect. He does have his blink. There's no Shadow Strike. Jenkins isn't really winning this right-click battle. He gets Howl, but it's a bit late to the party, and Squee's going to salve up. So Jenkins has to be very careful now.
Yeah, looks like the Howl was also to help harass this top lane a bit, as the Magic Missile did fly into Z-Freak. He hit a couple of pot shots there. Hasn't really been forced to use the Tango quite yet, but he's still looking to contest and just kind of have his way with these side camps. And you just can't allow the Batrider to just kind of feel comfortable taking advantage of your lane like this. So he's just going to get what he can and be in a good position for the 2-minute rune. Behind him, though, is Flying Zebra. Like, get the hell back here. We want that rune. And it looks like he's not going to bother contesting, risking that he could be hit by that Magic Missile. So he'll fly back and away, and it will be claimed up there from Flying Zebra. And it looks like Squee helping out there below. I assume he probably got the bounty rune from the bottom side.
Zizou is dedicating so much to stack. No mud golems. This is some gold here in these 2 camps. This is a dream for a Batrider. Oh my lord.
It's just that selfless support play. He's really gotten nothing himself except from an occasional XP leech from the mid lane. Well, this is the thing.
He could go top. This is like, offlane Zeus is not unheard of, and it's not like you can't get CS or experience up here. And this leaves the Batrider down bottom. It's kind of like swapping roles for a moment. But as long as he stays out of range of any sort of harassment, he should get at least a little bit of experience. They don't need him bottom, because Jenkins is barely going to get anything himself. He's level 2. It's I think this is a solid move coming out from Complexity. Zizou, like you mentioned, very, very, very selfless play, and he has continued to impress me, honestly. This last game, he did really well, but I don't know, man.
Can you imagine being in his shoes, and it's like, listen, we need you to stand in for our team. It's kind of a big couple of matches here that you're going to be playing, almost our tournament life, if you will. And he's really stepped up in the support position, and now he's giving right back to his team so they can really thrive with the extra gold they'll get later on. Touching base, though, with your mid lane matchup, it's your Swindle Melons Viper going toe-to-toe with Shibby on the Lena. Shibby at 17 and 3 CS, Viper at 16, so both neck and neck here. But a nearby Zeus, I don't know if he plans on maybe helping him out with a little bit of extra burst here, but he's got eyes on Shibby. And it looks
just going to try to get root control. That's the biggest thing, is that Lena needs root control. Like, she's one of those heroes. I mean, you can get away with not having root control on a lot of the standard mids right now, but Lena's one that definitely needs bottle. And that's not what you need for Swindle. He's not going to be contesting runes. You don't really need bottle and Viper. I mean, there's a possibility for you to get that, but I think that you're just better with getting an early Aquila, boots, phase boots, hopefully, and going from there. But nope, it is going to be, should be taking the top end of this rune, and that's kind of frightening when you think about it. Although, I don't know if Swindle, until level 6 comes up for the Lena, I don't think she could really kill Swindle, and especially with him going, he actually puts 3 points on a poison attack. He's going the heavy gank Viper build. We're used to seeing the heavy tank build with the 4 points of corrosive skin, but that is not the case right now.
No, maybe looking to try to get some early engagements here, but for now it's just steady as she goes here. Shibby would love to get that Laguna Blade online to really make use of that Invis rune. On the bottom side of the world here, Jenkins had been playing a very dangerous game. He gets very close to death, and at the last possible moment seems to find his long-range blink to get the hell out of there. But now he makes his return, still with just boots and a wand to help out a bit with the early harassment. Now at level 3, but can't really contest and stop this Jug from getting anything. He's just got to take it slow here and get what little bits he can. Does have that ward on the side to, oh, that's actually the ward here from Complexity, in case they see any sort of rotation over. But Squee looking to put him back in check. There's going to be the blink out, and yeah, just Jenkins still trying to find his way. But this is also no one at the top lane. Shredder just kind of farming up nice and easy here. About 900 gold on your Lycanthrope. And I'm trying to remember, I didn't get to cast the actual games when he was playing the Lycanthrope, if he's more based around getting that early Vlads like he does there and going for an early Roche.
I think it's dependent on the game, and being on the dire side, you have that advantage. But the smoke from Flying Zebra, they're going to pitch that Squee, Screw Pain, and this is your first blood coming in. It's Flying Zebra getting a much-needed bit of experience and gold, which allows your supports to be even more selfless. They're looking for Z-Freak. Oh, this invis from Shibby could be disastrous. Z-Freak needs to back away. I don't think he saw him invis up, and he might even look for a stack here. And yeah, he's going to stack maybe... Yeah, he's going to try to stack and maybe take this. But Shibby's nearby, and so is Swindle, though. This is tough. Do they go for this kill onto Z-Freak? I think so.
Oh, yeah. Flying Zebra's going to come off at the front. LSA, Magic Missile to follow if he has the mana, which he does not. And because of that, Z-Freak's going to be able to fly away to safety. Unfortunate there as Flying Zebra didn't have any sort of extra clarity or bits of regen to try to get the mana together. Had that been a Magic Missile, that could have been a kill.
He wasn't full mana when he popped that invis, was he, or close to it? Because if that was the case, then he probably didn't want to pop up his invis rune. He probably just wanted to keep invis, and maybe he didn't see how much mana he had left. I actually didn't see at the beginning of that engagement. But that should have been a sure kill, man. That's a kill that is 100% supposed to happen. And now that it doesn't, he stays alive. He gets even closer to his Blink Dagger, which he's already super close to. Again, this is the problem for Leviathan. You have an awfully Queen of Pain who has 2 last hits and is level 5, which is actually kind of good, at least in terms of levels. But then you have a Z-Freak who's going to have a Blink Dagger super early because of the fact that the selfless play from the Zeus. Although, I will say Leviathan did go for that early tier 1 tower, and that's a big pickup for them. I don't think it was denied either. I think it was taken by Shredder, so that's pretty good. So, it's just a couple of trades there, and I think Leviathan, they really need to get Jenkins some farm or something, and it's right now not looking great for him.
Yeah. And now with Ziz, as he has his Omni Slash here, it's not the easiest target to bring down your Queen of Pain. Maybe his Lion was able to throw together some more levels. He can have more lockdown available. And they drop down a new Obs lane ward, but the sentry that had already been there from Leviathan will deny it. So free 50 gold there for Jenkins. And they will move that bit of vision there from CoL. And they have their own ward nearby, so they know that Squeeze here. Yeah. And they'll know if trouble's coming. So Jenkins can be very comfortable at this point. But it looks like they're going to take preemptive measures as well to make sure they have something to check out this Roche. They don't know that at a moment's notice, with Shredder now off the map, he's currently jungling. He could sneak into that pit at any moment.
Yeah, no, and that's going to be the case because he's going for the medallion. I think he could just do this on his own. They even could get the Avenger there and do the Wave of Terror, and they could kill it so quickly. So it's going to be tough. Although I will say, Dwindle did go for the phase boots, which we've seen more and more of on Vipers. This is a build that I've done for so long, and I think has been so good. You need the mobility desperately. Viper's a slow hero to begin with, so getting in there quickly is definitely part of it, but also the extra damage is certainly helpful as well. And he's in a spot where he can just start team fighting kind of with his team. They can start ganking, they can roam around. There's not much that can bring him down with the exception of maybe an LSA, Dragon Slave, Laguna combo.
Looks like Z-Freak here, very close to Blink Dagger after he finishes that stack at about 1,900 gold. Still needs a bit more time, might look to finish it back at the offlane if he'd like. And Zeus, who continues to find a lot of movement, would love to be able to find somewhere to get some XP staples so he can get to his level 6. Good for Leviathan, though, is Nushim, who now is level 6. He's going to be showing off his first Ice Blast. It's going to head towards the bottom lane. He has been building up his own bit of selfish me time. Will there be a connection with a follow-up from Jenkins? No connection from the Ice Blast. Jenkins, who's not level 6 yet, can't like follow it up with a big Sonic Wave. Probably just go for the all-in big Scream of Pain, but that is not going to be granted. As now it's just Ziz who can continue to play a bit more patient. And this is your cookie-cutter jug build-up. Phase boots. He's got his Morbid Mask on top of his Bassi. And there's the Mask of Madness now complete.
They're going to wrap around on Jenkins here. Flying Zebra actually TPing out, heading top. Jenkins needs to be careful. Blinks away just in time. These ganks are not connecting for either team. It's just, it's not looking great. I mean, Zizou and like these are two little dudes. The Zeus in the line with move speed so low that it's just, you kind of actually have to wait for Z-Freak, who, by the way, his blink is now done. He could buy it up right now if he wanted to. They're going to check Roche quickly again. Zizou's been very committed about this, which I think is smart. And again, they're just giving like top lane to different heroes. This time to Leviathan, though. They're going to give Shredder the jungle. They're going to give top lane to Flying Zebra for a bit. Ziz has not rotated out and head to the jungle yet because Z-Freak is taking it and getting his Blink Dagger. They have this wolf following them, and this could be huge if they smoke right here. The wolf is about to run out, though. No. Oh. Meanwhile, Ziz gets the kill bottom. Jenkins, I think, getting Omni Slash. He might have blinked away, and he didn't actually blink. He just got blown up.
Just a good quick pick for him. Maybe unfortunate timing. Couldn't quite get off the blink with the mini stun from the Omni Slash, whatever it may be. He does end up going down, and it's Complexity's first kill of the game here. But here's the smoke from Z-Freak, looking to make a strong debut with his Blink Dagger. He's going to take up over the high ground here, maybe in hopes of finding Shredder on that Lycan. They have little bits of vision here. Shredder needs to be careful. They get the link. They get the lasso. They pull him back. It's going to be a stun follow-up and some additional burst from your Zeus. Shredder very low. Will go down, but hey, big damage from that Ice Blast prompts 2 big TPs. Oh, nice nuke from Shibby on the low ground. Gets the kill onto Zizu. Z-Freak with no more mana. I don't think he's going to be making it out alive. There's the magic missile. There's the right click. It's going to be a lycanthrope for the 2. Meanwhile, mid lane, Viper Strike onto Jenkins. Jenkins forced to blink back and away. He's going to be very low on life. 40.
Oh my God.
Eats a tango, and he will be okay.
This is why I don't like offlane Queen of Pain, especially against heroes like Viper. He literally got hit once with a right click and then Viper Stricken and died. Almost died. Pretty much died. For Leviathan, they actually turned that into a 2-for-1 trade. It's Shredder going down, which is a problem. But they make Complexity pay heavily for that kill. And that actually provides the Yules now for the Lina. No phase boots, interestingly enough. Usually you'll see the early phase come out for Lina, so she has some extra movement speed. Maybe she gets it a bit later. She'll probably work on Blink Dagger next, then Aghanim Scepter, which is the standard build. And Leviathan, this is the time. They're going to head into Roshan. Shredder is going to take this down quickly. Zebra will throw up a Wave of Terror in just a moment here. And now, do you scout this if you're Complexity? Do you send somebody in there? They have a Wolf shadowing. Now the Firefly's going to go, and they know Z-Freak is coming through. He's going to blink out just in time.
Oh, man. So Complexity see this happening, and they're like, all hands on deck. Everyone get down here. We don't want to allow Leviathan to get something easy like this. We want them to know that we have eyes on them. And already Zeus is going to be throwing down the ward. And things are not going to be as easy here. So Shredder will just take the time to step back and go back, work with the Ancients. But it's not going to be easy for him to make a move into the Roche. And there's already a preemptive sentry as well from Z-Freak. They're putting a lot to make sure that he can't get this Aegis. I guess all the meanwhile, nicely for Nusham here is that he gets to farm up on his AA. He almost has a Midas. Maut, how the tables have turned. This was the silencer from the last game for Complexity. Now it's the AA on Leviathan.
Yeah, they are still giving Zissou farm bottom, though, because Jug can now farm the jungle. He can farm the H attack, as you can see he's doing now with 1 point in Healing Ward. He's taking a lot of damage. Says you should be careful, buddy. He's going to salve up and he'll be fine. But you're right. It is Nusham up top. And, I mean, he's going to have a Midas, but it's not quite the global silence that we saw from a silencer pick. I mean, AA Ice Blast is good. It does a lot of damage, but is it going to be enough? And I think against the mech, it's going to be huge, which is now completed for Swindle Melons, but the real question is who starts fighting first, and I think it's going to be Complexity because Jenkins has nothing. Shibby is Yules, but
ooh, Ice Blast. Ice Blast, nuke, potential Laguna, and okay. Well, that was a bit excessive right there. Yeah. That's a lot of hate on your Lion. That's a Sonic Wave plus a Laguna. But hey, I guess a kill's a kill here for Leviathan at this point. They push ahead 4-2, but the ults will be on cooldown, that's for sure.
Shibi's like, listen, I'm going to just secure this kill. I want the last hit. I mean, I know he's probably going to shatter in about 2 seconds, but I really want that line dead. I mean, he's an ugly dude.
Yeah, I want that little bit of extra gold. Luckily, Laguna, not the longest cooldown, about a minute or so, and it'll be back up and at the ready to go. Swindle Melon's mid lane. Mech had been complete. He already has those phase boots and Aquila, but what is going to be the next pickup here, Maut? You're the Viper guy here. What's the best road here for Swindle to try to really get the most out of his Viper as we do approach the mid-game?
Ags would be an okay choice if it was like any other hero than a Lycan. He might just go pure damage at this point, or he could go more utility. Ags is pretty good, but against these squishy heroes, I don't know if he needs it. Although, if he throws out like 2 Viper Strikes, he's going to kill like a couple of heroes without any issue. He could go for something like a Manta if he really wants to. He can go a bit more tank and pick up a BKB also. There's a couple of options. I think Ags is probably the most likely choice, but I wouldn't rule out a Manta either.
Ice Blast. We'll go on to Swindle. Not the easiest target to burst down following one of those, so it looks like it's going to be Complexity pushing the tempo here. They want to get rid of this tier 1 tower mid lane, and then preferably the tier 1 bottom. That way maybe they can make it a go at the Roche themselves and not worry about rotations to come from Leviathan on the other side. Ult will fly out from Zeus. They see where Shredder is, who's still hanging around the Roche neighborhood. And this is good stuff here from Complexity. They are forcing Leviathan to feel very uncomfortable in a situation where they were expecting to have an easy Lycan Roche.
Yeah, this is really smart. They could take it now. They have decent Roche potential with Ziz on the Juggernaut. There's not much damage. Viper's pretty good at Roche too. Those two heroes could do fine. However, Leviathan, they still have the tier 2 towers that are ready to go. They still have initiation potential with Queen of Pain. They still have Ice Blast to work with, so it's tough. You see the Ice Blast flying in. It's actually going to miss. Maybe they head back into the pit now. Uh-oh.
It's a big hit because Zephyr can't blink to get away. Eats the Sonic Wave. Omni on the return. Oh, unfortunate for Jenkins as he eats the most of it there. Will go down. Viper Strike on the Flying Zebra. He's got to run. But the finger from a mile away comes out from Squee and cleans up the Vengeful Spirit. And with those two brought down, Complexity feel a lot more comfortable finishing what they started here in the Roche Pit.
Dude, I don't think Queen of Pain was a good choice this game for the offlane. It's just not working out for them at all. And that's the problem. Like, they need a pick like Bat Rider or something for him, and he's got to have to get that free farm that Z-Freak got. Ice Blast is going to sail in. Roche is still going to be taken by Complexity. He gets the Aegis as well, so... I mean, that's huge. That's, again, you talked about how you have a dire advantage with the Lycan. You can Roche quickly, but they were so quick to make sure that they weren't taking Roche. They checked often with Complexity, specifically Ziso doing it. And Leviathan aren't able to secure that bit of advantage. And Jenkins is now at the bottom of the net worth chart, man. Like, if he had gotten Roche, or if his team had gotten Roche, he maybe gets back up and he could start snowballing, but he's going to stay down here because he's just going to be fodder. Like, any ability is going to kill him almost instantly. It feels like, anyway.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a struggling start here for Jenkins on this Queen of Pain pickup. And, you know, we don't see a whole lot of, like, Tide Hunters anymore, but at least Tide Hunter would have had that ult factor where maybe Complexity second-guessed their commitments near that Roche Pit. And, I mean, then you can always say, oh, Zeus is in the game, and it could be hard to initiate there. It just seems like Complexity have a draft that really shines at just this point in the game. This is an early peaking period for them as their 6 is all together. You know, or level 6 rather is all together, and now Z-Freak, who completes his Bat Tool Belt, he's got a 4-staff, and now their initiation is just out of control, and they can continue to build up a lot of momentum at this point. And Leviathan were probably anticipating that, yeah, they would have gotten the Roche earlier, and they would be able to breach and take down these tier 1 towers, but it feels like all those plans and all those objectives have just been put on hold. And Shredder's just forced to go back and continue to farm. He's trying to get at least the first level of his Necro book underway here, but it's not proving to be easy here for Leviathan to find a way to get a couple of kills.
I mean, for Leviathan, their goal was take Roche, take tier 1s, take tier 2s, continue to snowball, get items up, and when you have this Queen of Pain, you kind of need that. You need some sort of way to get gold, and they just haven't had that snowball effect. And a lot of that has to do with Zissou and Z-Freak being pretty on point when it comes to finding initiations, making sure they are keeping tabs on all the heroes on the map. So for Leviathan, they have to try to take down these towers, but how is that going to happen? I mean, you're getting pushed into now by an Aegis up Juggernaut. He'll get Ice Blasted. It's going to do a little bit of damage. Shredder TP's in. Yeah, it's a good thing he canceled that. Omni Slash is ready to go. You had no creep wave. That was a bit bold, Shredder.
Yeah, maybe with Wolves and Book, you know, you can mitigate enough of the damage, but you just don't want to risk TPing in and having the bad end of some luck and quickly going down.
You don't know who's behind him either.
Yeah, exactly. So he did have Z-Freak nearby, who does have that blink. He even has a haste rune. Oh man, they're looking for something here. With Omni Slash ready to go and this lasso ready to go, they have a nice little aggressive ward here. They control the Leviathan jungle. Leviathan, you know, they're able to kind of find their own way on the other side of the world, so it's not like they're being starved with nothing to work with here, but it's very apparent that Complexity are just well in control. Manson now complete on Ziz and his Jug, and there's going to be the first level of Necrobook into Shredder.
I mean, Shredder had such a good start. He was the CS leader for a long period of time, and it's just these towers that Complexity are taking down and knocking down one by one. Even the tier 2 top lane is gone, and they're just taking control of Leviathan's jungle. They're starving them out. Shredder has really nothing. I mean, it's Necrobook 1 is not great. And now Swindle is even getting up to his Ags at 400 gold. With that, Jenkins is already having a tough time surviving. He'll die even quicker. So
I mean, Squee has a Midas, for God's sakes. That just goes to show that their supports are just loaded. He's got 1,500 gold. He's gonna have a Blink Dagger in no time. Complexity have so much built up. And now they just continue to take advantage of this Aegis while they got it and look to keep going for tier 2s. This was the Leviathan game plan being done even better on the side of Complexity. And you unleash the ultimate there from your Zeus. No easy blinking going to be coming out from Leviathan yet. And they just continue to chip away. Leviathan clearly not comfortable taking a team fight here. Nushim getting bullied from the Manta illusions. but they have no way to kind of start this fight off. No real initiation to get in there and get things started.
They're going to find the Bat Rider, and that is at least something to get. Lena will pick up the last hit with a right click, and that brings her a bit closer to where Aghanim Scepter Jenkins is involved and it actually gets treads, so he's a bit tankier now. We kind of saw the same thing last game where Leviathan were pushing to the tier 2 tower. They lost a hero, but they were able to take down a lot of objectives in that period of time. But for Complexity, they still have a decent late game. Leviathan did as well, but I think right now you just need to somehow get your jungle back. I don't really know if they can team fight, though. That's the biggest issue. Leviathan just... you have to deal with Lasso. You have to deal with all of the abilities that Complexity has. And until you get Necro 3, Shredder is not doing nearly as much as he wants to. I think you wait till Necro 3 and then maybe you try to get a fight going.
Yeah, and then do you take team fights together, or do you try to make something work with the 3 plus maybe an oncoming Ice Blast from Nusham and have Shredder split push on the side? Or do you need to have this involved in these kind of skirmishes? It's just, I don't know. Complexity.
I don't know if you could go out alone if you're Shredder, because you're going to get lassoed, Omni Slashed, and Viper ulted, and at that point, you're just dead. I don't care how tanky you are. I think just with those 3 abilities, it's tough to split push, but it's also tough to team fight in the situation. It really is up to them, I think. It's not easy, and we do have a pause. Sex, Swindlemelons, Complexity are looking... It's 4-5. It's not the most exciting game in the world, let's be honest, but they have a 10,000 network lead on the Radiant side, and all they really need to do is continue to knock down these towers, keep this advantage that they have, maybe take another Roshan, get another Aegis, increase their lead, and at that point, it's just 1 or 2 team fights away from them taking Arax and winning the series. So for Leviathan, it's crunch time, man.
It really is. There's no extra lower bracket to come back from at this point. It's been a good running from both teams so far, but they are not looking to stop here. Looks like a little bit of lag coming out from both sides. I'm going to switch over the overlay because people get pretty touchy about that, but it seems like they're just kind of testing the waters a bit to see if everything's good. But look at Ziz, man. 12K net worth lead, way above the rest. The next closest on the side of Leviathan is about 8,500 gold, of course, for your Shredder Lycan, who we're making the call out that he needs to get that level 3 Necro book together before he can really make some sort of team fight impact. But even then, you kind of have to second guess where your commitments will really lie, whether it's trying to find those side objectives and so you can get your whole team to benefit from all that gold, or do you think that you're comfortable enough at that point to take a team fight yourself? I just worry that Leviathan had made a lineup where they bank on more opportunities coming to them, whereas finding setups themselves. You know, it's not like they have the Bat Rider and they can go out on the prowl and get a quick pick like that. It just doesn't seem to be coming to a Leviathan nearly as easy as Complexity.
No, I mean, it's a snowball lineup for Leviathan that they expected to get a lot more out of, and I think the biggest problem was the Zeus and the Bat Rider. Not that they've even done that much. And even actually the Viper as well, but Complexity have played this so damn well. I think your next point of emphasis for Complexity is to take the tier 2 tower and then make sure you take that next Aegis. If you give the Aegis and Roshan to Leviathan, then that's a way back into the game. That provides more opportunities for Lycan to split push, for him to stay alive, and just to be aggressive. So for Complexity, again, do what you've been doing. You know, choke them out in their own jungle, take towers, and take objectives. Keep the pressure on. Because again, we've talked about this before as a Viper, but this Viper eventually will become less useful. He'll get to a point where he'll stay probably at this Aghanim Scepter, maybe get another item, but then his, you know, how much he's going to be able to provide is going to start lacking in about 10 to 15 minutes. However, the damage and the team fight that he outputs now, what he provides now, is absolutely outstanding. Yes. So use that to as best as you can if you're Complexity. And they're going to smoke up, and they're going to do just that. However, Leviathan are sitting back at their own tier 3 tower, waiting for maybe somebody to come to them. They have left Jenkins out on his own, but he does have a TP scroll. He's heading into the trees. And Complexity drew the line to head down bottom, but I don't think they're going to be able to find anybody here, unless Jenkins is... could be.
Here goes CoL on an expedition. Leviathan trying to scout out the Complexity Woods with a wolf, but they keep moving forward here. Just look how cautious Leviathan are playing, though, as they wait back and behind the base. Looks like CoL are going to need another second, apparently. I don't care if you're sorry, Z-Freak. Trying to build up the hype here. You guys, there's hiccups along the way. I guess that's understandable. let me switch back the overlay again. You know, people get touchy about this kind of stuff.
So has that become like a big issue? Is the
it's
whole
just
minimap
better to
thing?
play it safe than sorry. You know, we
No,
understand
yeah.
that there is a 2-minute delay, so you know it doesn't necessarily stop everything. But if it helps ease everyone a bit, then I guess we can go with that. It's not like there's much to see while the game's paused. Regardless,
It's the minimap's the biggest issue. Apparently, I understand, but I mean, if they wanted to know like ward locations, there's ways to find out. I mean, there's like they could have people watching the game, honestly. But at the same time, I understand you want to be safe.
Just all those tinfoil hat conspiracies people put out there as far as the information that teams seem to be looking for or are getting or whatever. But we're just here. I'll do my job, my best that I can to make things as fair as possible, and everyone can enjoy the bracket. And, well, we could talk about it a bit. Right now we're seeing Complexity take on Leviathan down there at the bottom bracket. They move forward as they will be facing the loser of our next series, which is going to be Evil Geniuses taking on Not Today. Maut, I mean, do you have any thoughts about that one? I'm looking forward to that. I want to say that of all the teams here, from what I've seen, Not Today have the best chance to maybe pull out some sort of upset against Evil Geniuses. Now, we all know EG seem to be on like a whole nother level. That they still have the odds at like, I think it's 92% in favor of EG to Not Today's 8. I would say maybe 80-20, maybe at least 85-15.
I'd say 85. Yeah, I'd say 85.
So, small value bet there, but do you think it's going to be an easy 2-0 sweep from Evil Geniuses, or do you think Not Today might be able to take a game?
I don't know. It depends on the mindset that Evil Geniuses have when they get into the game. This isn't the same Not Today team, though, that we saw at the last summit. I don't know if they're as strong as they once were. I feel like that roster was really solid with EWO and everybody. And I think Evil Geniuses should have an easy series, but I hope it's close. I really, you know...
They do have some new players.
I want to go 3 games. Yeah.
They have some new players on their roster, but their performance so far looks as good, if not better, than their run through the Summit 2, where they were very impressive. I think they even made it through, because back then we did like the group stage thing where they kind of had to do the round robin, and they came out of their group stage undefeated, if I do remember correctly. Now, given there was no Evil Geniuses in the group stage at that time, they were the champions from the first Summit, so they got the auto invite to this one, the same way that Vici Gaming have their free invite over to the Summit 3. But now we have 2 spots open in the America bracket, so we get to have potentially Evil Geniuses, who are the heavy favorites, given that there isn't some sort of crazy huge upset along the way, +1, and that's what all these other teams are really battling it out for. I mean, we'll find out tomorrow the final spot, but tonight we get to see Not Today or Evil Geniuses. Which one of those 2 teams will be here? Maybe Smash Sama will be able to defend his title as the MVP, as voted in the previous summit.
It's not going to be easy, but, well, hold on. I've been messaged by Swindle, and he's asking me a couple of questions, which I think I would direct to you. First, he's telling me that they're having some issues with Squee, and he'll try to get over to another area that he could play without having any issues shortly. And he wants to know the rules regarding how long we could stay paused, because he will be back, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I think I actually got the same message here.
Nice.
I'm going to go ahead and forward it. I can't act as an admin, of course, but we do have a dedicated admin on site because, you know, we had some issues before. We want to make sure that yep, shout outs to Rob. He's been our admin for the most part, so I'm just going to forward that information over. But yeah, as you can see, no one can see, but Rob is definitely telling the players right now what the time limit is for the pausing, and I just gave him the extra bit of information. So we still are going to stick by the rule book, I'd imagine, here. But we got to just wait it on out.
All right, man. How have your pubs been going? Let me ask you.
How have my pub... This is where we've come to. Yeah, pub play. Not going to lie. I've been playing some dirty Earth Spirit. I know everyone hates it. He's fun. He's stylish to play. I've toyed a bit with the offlane Morphling, and that is also pretty freaking ridiculous. I don't know if you've tried it out yet, but... Pretty much,
seen it in action.
You know, you sit in the off lane, you don't get anything. I mean, if you can occasionally get a CS, that's wonderful, but you're just there for the XP. You just try to blitz forward. Level 5, you can make something happen, but once you get to level 7, you know, that's when you can really take advantage of that thing.
What's the skill build? Is it like max adaptive strike as quickly as possible?
Yeah, I mean, you go with the 1-1-1. You know, you get waveform probably early, just in case there's too much. You know, maybe they have the early gank to your off lane, so you gotta have a way to get the hell out. Then you get at least just the one value point into morph, and then adaptive strike from there on out. Later on, you can put a couple of points into replicate. People don't understand is the replicate. It's not just like the morphling is only the stun. This replicate could do a lot of work in a day and age of Dota where the meta is like a lot of big, like axe pickups, maybe a radiance holder here and there. There's a lot you could really take advantage of, or a sniper even. You can use them to split push the lanes. There's a lot of utility there. It's just a matter of expecting the morph coming and taking the appropriate measures to have an answer for it. Whether you have to get like an Abaddon or an LC or something to just stop that frickin' stun from happening. But
first of all, I want to. You make the point. You always say this. You're like, oh, I'm a dirty Earth Spirit picker. I don't think that's the case. At least not like in like around like anywhere from 3 to 4K. And like people are always like, well, Earth Spirit. I hope this guy doesn't suck ass. Like I hope he actually knows how to play the hero. Like most people don't most people underestimate the hero. It's only like in 5K and 6K that I've seen people like, oh, you're an Earth Spirit picker, go kill yourself or something like that. But
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I just played Earth Spirit, I could probably raise my MMR a bit just because the hero's pretty ridiculous. I mean, he offers way too much to the game. I don't foresee him coming into captain's mode unless it's some sort of rework. I mean, I don't know if it's as much of a rework as like PL got, but
he's not going to be in captain's mode by TI5.
No, I mean, I would put my money on that, but I'm not going to eat a freaking shoe, that's for sure.
Good, thank God.
Let me touch base here. The players are very chatty. I would show it to everyone, but, you know, we got to make sure we have this overlay up.
And all right, folks, you don't get to see the all chat.
Yeah, it's nothing too exciting here, but there is a problem on one of the players from the side of CoL as they try their best to get it resolved here. It would be really unfortunate in a game like this that we had to play something out like 4 versus 5 when it really means so much. But apparently the player who is missing is on their voice program, so he's somewhat connected, has somewhat internet. But Swindle is letting us know that it should be only a moment, and apologies to the admins.
What a nice guy.
You can apologize all you want. We go through the rule book, though, so... Hustle. Okay, so you asked me about my pubs, Maut. How about you, man?
I haven't played Dota in a couple of days. I played with Charlie the other day. That was a bit of salt. It's a lot of salt, actually. It was all right. We had some good games. We had some bad games. Charlie expects a lot when you're playing Dota with him.
He's a strict coach. You just have to kind of take your verbal ass beating from him and just look for the good. I mean, he might not be like, hey, you know, next time you go in there, maybe you consider, you know, going more for the... No, he's like, you got to get the fuck in there. You got to get it done. Yeah, where are my wards at? Put them down. He'll like...
It's only like that when he plays Dota, though. That's the problem. Like, he's not like that any other... Like, he's a pretty... He doesn't... He's not too loud of a guy. He's very... Not soft-spoken, but he doesn't say much. At least in comparison to when he plays Dota. But the person that gets it way more than I do is Pimp. Pimmicle will be playing with us, and Charlie just rails.
Hey,
rails him. So
Charlie's Dota School of Hard Knocks, you know. It's all comes down to.
Like even playing with like semi-pro and pro players, like play like with FRL occasion, and he'll be like FRL will have a good time. He just laughs and like it's fun, and then like plays with Charlie and just it's so salty. I mean, I love you, Charles, but god damn, dude, take it easy.
So if anyone's curious what's happening in game, players are just shouting out. I don't know if these are real sponsors, but they're talking about, what is this? It looks like, here's Ziz. Do you guys have comfy chairs to sit in? Because I love my DX racer chair. No, I wish I had one. It's as comfortable as a Bugatti. Just various old chat.
I think I might be, maybe not DX racer.
You're so cool.
No, it's another one. Never mind. I'm not going to go into that. Hey man, my seat's destroyed. It's actually awful.
What, your chair?
Yeah, the one that I have currently, it's pretty bad. So
how do you screw up a chair?
Yeah, I have it for like 15 years.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's how.
Just turn it upside down. That's like 4 chairs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Moving on.
No. Yeah, let's get off that one.
So Swindle's still saying they need a moment as their 5th player is in the VoIP. Oh god, we're ready to go. I just looked up, I saw he was connected, and we're back underway. So now comes the challenge. Maut, where the hell did we leave off? here.
So the Complexity smoked up looking for a potential engagement on Leviathan. Leviathan backed up. They even saw Zissou, who had he was sitting on top of a ward the entire time he was there. So they knew they were kind of roaming in. They saw him pop out of Invis. So they knew that Zissou was scouting for them and trying to find something. So Complexity make the right move. They try to go for a smoke, but they can't actually find a kill. And now at this point, if you're Complexity, they'll probably continue to push out bottom, go for the tier 2 tower, hopefully don't take a fight, back up, try to take Roshan if they can, and go from there. Whereas Leviathan, they need to try to take back their jungle. They have the Necro 2 now done, Necro 3 still about 1,000 gold away. And I think Leviathan desperately need this next Roshan next Aegis. But I'm afraid that they might not even contest it at all. I'm afraid they might just let it go 100% to Complexity.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that's going to be the case, because just overall team fight clearly does not seem as potent as what Complexity have to offer, so that might be their best bet here. But they continue to take the measures ahead of time by pushing out these side lanes, getting this bottom in check, working with this mid lane, pushing it out. Currently, Swindle's taking care of that, and then they can make the go. But look who's looking to rain on their parade. We have an early smoke moving coming out from Leviathan. Zebra leading out the front in case he needs to get that swap. They're probably going to scout out the Roche as well. We'll see if the smoke pops near the pit. Not yet. They move up and above, and they move right into the Complexity woods. Complexity, though, they're more congregated near the mid lane by their tier 1. So both sides know that something is fishy.
Yeah, if you're Complexity, or if you're Leviathan, Complexity aren't farming top tier 1 tower, tier 2 tower. They're not pushing that out, so they have to be nearby. They finally do TP somebody over, that's Ziz, so he's not going to be involved in a fight if it breaks out. I think Complexity probably know there's something up. There's somebody in their jungle because they have no vision there. And they're not in their own jungle. So I think if you're Complexity, you have to be very careful. And they are, I mean, look at the positioning. They're just sitting pretty far back here, underneath the tier 2, even up on the steps. And they're sitting over to the left side of the lane more so than anything else.
I mean, they have this ward, aggressive ward up in Leviathan Woods. They haven't seen anyone pop up there. So, you know, by deduction, they got to be on this side of the map somewhere.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They wait to see if they can get any sort of glimmer where this Leviathan squad is. They see him pop out now, so that's a smoke move from Leviathan that turns up no extra profit for him. And now it's Complexity looking to move into the Leviathan Woods.
Oh, this Roche respawn is very interesting. They need to send a wolf in there or something and scout it out, because you have a very small window of time where this Roche could die quickly at Leviathan Sands.
Yeah.
And they're not scouting it.
They need to, because Complexity are in a position where they're not going to be there quickly to contest it. They are currently working in the Leviathan Woods, but now they're drawing out the game plan here to head right back to the other side of the map. Shredder's here.
Get in there. Get in there, Shredder.
Aha. Oh!
Oh,
ow.
no.
The second he peeks his head in, gets welcomed with a zap to the face. And now Complexity have an idea as far as what the hell's going on, and they beeline it that way. And they say, this is my Roche. I don't care what the hell you got there, you're a certain lycanthrope. We're going to look to take it for ourselves.
So unfortunate that that scouting Zeus ult comes out at that point. And he's just counter-warding like crazy, even as he Yules. He's pretty farmed. This Zeus he's feeling himself right now. What about the Lion? Blink's ready for him. He had that Midas. We'll see if he goes for like an Ags or something next, or a 4-staff. But they're just going to take... I mean, this is like a team agent stack if you're Leviathan. You're all sitting bottom. You're like, okay, Shredder, we're going to help you get this Necro 3, and then we're going to go fight. We're going to do some desperation almost.
Did you just get it? Is this the level 3 on way? He has one recipe. What does he got on hand?
Yeah,
he's got it. 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. And that is the good book fully complete. So, all right. Lycan gets his first big item thrown together outside the medallion Vlad's. But is it enough? I mean, it's good for taking a Roche quick, but that clearly is not something they can go for here. Puts the Wolves out in patrol, which will be pinged out immediately, it looks like. Which is very timid play.
Either team needs a gem. This could be... Oh, Zeepfrag has one. All right, well then, that's pretty important. I don't know when he picked this up, but it's time to just get map control and proceed to stifle. And this is the biggest problem. You can't take Roche without map control. They have no vision. They don't really know where everybody is. What just came out? That's an MKB for Ziz. So he's frickin' farmed.
Yes. Frickin' to say lightly at this point. I mean, if you were even dreaming of getting any sort of tempted evasion, does not matter. Ziz is going to hit you where it hurts here. And they are charging down this mid lane, taking advantage of the fact that there's no tier 2. They move up and behind here. Oh, ping. They scout out. They see Shredder. They're going to make the committed jump. Just a force forward here. Z-Freak gets the grab. A quick swap save from Flying Zebra. Could end his own life, and it will. Jump in Sonic Wave. Clears out the Zeus. Jenkins could go there to follow. Ziz cleaning house along with Swindle as they take down the rest. It's going to be a 5-man immediate wipe. Triple kill for Ziz. He just moves right past Shredder and company and goes for the backstaff of Leviathan and just cleans house. 9-6. Not a lot of bloodshed this game, but that was the biggest fight and could have been one of the most decisive ones in this game too.
I don't have any way to take an Omni Slash with Mom and KB. How are you supposed to deal with that? I mean, that's just Ziz going in alone. All of the other heroes were down dealing with Vengeful Spirit, which they dealt with in short order, but Ziz is like, I don't really care. I'm just going to kill your entire team, I suppose. And then he goes to work. It's 3 quick kills. Proceeds to push up to the high ground now. Shibi's not alive for 20. They're going to mech up. Ice Blast will go. It's not really going to do that much. There's no Agate. It's getting close. Ziz avoids it nicely. Jenkins doesn't have a Sonic Wave. They can't get this tier 3 tower. I thought that might have been the beginning of the end. KotLGuy might have been able to take a building or two off the back of it. But Leviathan are so far behind and they're so low in experience that their respawn time is negligible. They get up so quickly. It's just... They have to somehow get a miraculous team fight, but there's no real big team fight ultimate that can do that besides Sonic Wave, which isn't even that great. It's not like they have an Enigma. It's not like they have the Magnus like they did last game. And they can't get to Roche again.
Yeah. Well, they know Roche is up. Shibi quickly TPs to this bottom lane. He wants to push this lane back so that they can create a little bit of wiggle room here and not allow CoL to just easily move into the pit and get it done. And just try to stall things out a bit longer. But that is... a big, decisive turn. And KotLGuy already had the advantage pretty much since the laning front, but with that big fight, they just take what was a plateauing advantage of about 8k and turn it quickly into nearly double at 14k net worth advantage, 12k for XP. This is a big boost for them, and when they're only 1 win away from moving to the next round, you know, it's better to take things nice and easy and not get too bloodthirsty on trying to complete out a tier 3. And, well, they'll just keep pushing things forward. Zeus ult will pop out. No smoke movement. They see Flying Zebra nearby. And once Leviathan get hit by that, they just go back and kind of turtle up a little bit more. Is this going to be a smoke here? Who's got the stuff? Okay, it's Zebra.
This could be a game-ending smoke if they don't get the team fight they want.
Oh, man. They're looking to turn the corner. Z-Freak is going to pop their smoke. They're going to see the wave as well here. They're going to go... possibly all the way around and from behind here. Oh, they'll see Zizo on the low ground. Yules. Is he going to commit everything onto him? Oh, nice 2-man stun that Z-Freak goes into, and they annihilate both with a Sonic Wave. Ziz gets welcomed with an immediate bash, and now he's got to get the hell out of there. Nice swap back stop, and this is the Leviathan fight they needed. Immediate buyback from Ziz here. Oh, they get squeezed. No! Quick blink away. Another buyback, this time on the Bat Rider. They really don't want Leviathan to get this Roche because this could help them come back.
So important.
Oh, here they come. KotLGuy in. A couple of them on their second leg.
Oh, it's going to go down. They're going to get it.
They got it. Jumping from Z-Freak. Tries to go for the flame break. He only gets the Necro Book up to the high ground, but now he will go down. The second, the dieback for your Bat Rider. Swindle could go down next. Viper Strike, but a quick blink back there from Shibi. Gets them to the low ground. Now Swindle on the run to get away from the Wolves. Finger flies out, but there's the Omni Slash. And your A just quickly goes down. KotLGuy, though, they've already taken enough, and they got to get away. That could have probably gone a bit better for Leviathan, but you could really not ask for anything more.
I mean, that, like I said, if that fight goes poorly, it's game ending. That game's, I think the game's over. And they actually somehow, Z-Freak provides them the initiation that they needed. He jumped into the LSA. He jumped into his own death and demise. He got Lagoona'd right after that. And that's where the team fight went poorly. And then the magic miss, the instant stun onto Ziz before he could get his Blade Fury, before he could get his Omni Slash off, gets killed. He has to buy back.
There is no dishonor.
Oh, if they could somehow get another kill onto one of these cores that bought back, this could be Leviathan's maybe edge here. They still have a long way to go, but that provides them just a little. I mean, well, not only a little bit. Look how much net worth they gained from that last engagement if you look at the graph, man. And now they can start getting tier 1 towers. They can start going down lane with this net worth 3. It's time to go for Leviathan, I think.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of this small window while you got it. If you want to see if you can make that window that much wider and your potential to come back to this game that much more This is your chance to really take advantage of it. Man, oh man, real unfortunate there for Z-Freak with that jump in, but that's all Leviathan needed to really take control of that, and they had just enough raw power to burst down the Roche before the retort was to come from Complexity, and now down. They got hit in the economy so hard with those buybacks as well. And now it's Complexity who just kind of need to look to shake that off and try to get a firm grasp back onto this game. They're still in a good position where Ziz is the dominant net worth leader. We're not discrediting that. He's almost at 20K, and Viper even right behind him, but you can see now the gap between them and Leviathan isn't quite as big as it used to be.
This is it's gonna be now when it's Select Your Ross done for Shredder as well, and that's one way to continue to snowball is to have armor reduction, take down towers quickly, take down heroes quickly. And Swindle now, because he dies there, if Swindle gets a couple of kills, he stays competitive with his itemization. He stays alive and he stays useful. But 33 minutes as a Viper, and you're starting to become not as useful as you once were. I mean, you still have to deal with Ziz, who by all means is a literal juggernaut, I suppose. But it's tough. And now the Axe is done for the Lina. So Laguna Blade through Magic Immunity. It's pure damage. There's no resistance coming out. You can screw your Corrosive Skin Viper. It's not going to matter. 950 damage is coming into your face whether you like it or not.
They definitely have the burst if they can find their own bit of lockdown, which they were graciously handed in that last engagement. And now you can see the Complexity not feeling quite as assertive, at least by the body language. But Leviathan now don't want to lose this bit of a comeback factor here. Jenkins, who is, you know, the low spectrum of this net worth chart, has managed to scrap together an Agnum Scepter, which helps him relieve a lot of the pressure that Complexity can build up, given that his new Sonic Wave cooldown is going to be next to nothing. And that will certainly help bring him a lot of gold here. But where do we really itemize here for Leviathan to just really take it back to Ziz in this jug? Is it more pressure on Shredder as he just kind of continues to build forward? It looks like he's going to go for an AC, which helps. It's minus armor. It's more armor for everyone else on his team. It helps siege buildings and objectives, but I don't know if Leviathan are still comfortable being able to take any sort of team fight.
I mean, there's a BKB now for the Juggernaut, so at some point I think Shredder will have to get a Abyssal Blade, and even a BKB probably too would be nice to have, but he needs that extra bit. Although BKB might be tough because you have to deal with the Lasso and the Viper Strike as well. However, I think any item they can get is going to help. I mean, the Agnum Scepter, which I didn't even think was a possibility for Jenkins a bit of time ago, now it's up there and he has at least something. This smoke, however, from Complexity coming out, Leviathan seemed to have a decent understanding that they're off the map.
Uh-oh, Shredder. He gets spotted, he gets grabbed, pulled back. There's a finger, there's a Zeus Ult, there's everything they could ask for. Actually, the Zeus Ult not even committed for that, but the burst from just a lightning bolt. So cherry on top right there, and they get a quick kill onto the Lycan, and maybe they look to pressure this high ground and see if they could force out an early buyback.
Yeah, he has buyback available. He's down for 45 seconds. They have Glyph. He'll probably have to use it. Swindle's going to be up on the high ground here. He has a Heart of Traziz as well with his BKB, which is newly minted. I think Shredder, it might be time to go right now. I don't think they give away full racks here. I don't know if they can handle that. This is a tough choice here if you're Leviathan. You have to do it sooner rather than later. And I think they actually are, they might just let it go.
Looks like they're going to sack the first racks here. Not an easy sight here for Leviathan, but it's better than taking a fight that you're not comfortable with taking. CoL take that, and they leave. Plenty for them. But it was CoL last game who were down an early set of racks and managed to pull out a bit of a comeback. This is a very different situation, though, as Leviathan, I don't think, are in nearly the same economy state that Complexity were in the previous game. So it's pressure on them to hope for maybe another star-studded team fight and then be able to follow it up with a big push assault from their Lycan.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not in the same spot that Complexity was in the last game. Juggernaut was farming so much more effectively. They didn't really stop him from farming. The Storm Swindle Melons was putting on a show as well, getting farmed through all of the lanes and actually getting plenty of kills. And Leviathan are barely scraping by. They're not farming on their supports. They're barely farming on their Lycan and on their Lina. They're not getting kills. The only thing that's happened in recent memory has been Roshan and that big team fight, which is what kept them in the game in the first place. But with Lycan going down, you saw that they got one set of racks on the back end of it. Now if they get Lycan again, maybe they force out a buyback. Maybe he doesn't even have it, and then that's game. And again, it's going to come down to probably another Roshan. Like, it's not up yet. It could be another early Rosh respawn. And at that point, now Ziz is super farmed. He even has a Blink Dagger. He's getting all of this farm seemingly out of nowhere. He's up to 23,000 net worth, almost. He's about 8,000 ahead of the next closest person on the enemy team.
He also bought a Basher. Where is this coming from? He doesn't even have enough inventory slots for all this crap.
I think he sold it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he sold it. It was on the courier for a bit.
Jump in. Jenkins, Sonic Wave, but he gets welcomed with the lasso there. Pull back from Z-Freak, and your Queen of Pain is going to be down and out for 1 minute without a buyback. Complexity might or might not know that. So they'll just move on through, farm up the jungle, help build up pressure towards the mid lane as well because they've already gotten the job done there at the top. But if he does not have a buyback here, they could press this mid lane and try to squeeze one out. But for now, it's Jenkins who doesn't. He's pretty poor, needs 800 gold if he wanted to come back for a second go.
They're not gonna push. They already took top, and that was the only that was pushed in at the point in time. They are gonna wait for Roche though. They actually jumped the gun a bit. It's not even the 8-minute mark yet, and they're already thinking about getting inside the pit and making sure they have. Because they knew this was the problem last time around, and they're gonna take it so quickly this time with Ziz and all the right-click damage he has. But again, it comes down to Leviathan. Are they gonna make the same type of play? Will Complexity fall for it? Will that team fight be there for Leviathan? Do they have enough damage to take down all of Complexity or a number of Complexity? I don't know.
No, it's just looking like they could be hoping for another, like, I don't want to say a miracle of a team fight, but they pretty much need what happened at the Roche to happen again. I don't know if it's a throw or Complexity just having a bit of an awkward engagement and letting Leviathan really thrive in a follow-up, but they need something like that to happen again, because at this point, it seems like Complexity, much like game number 1, as long as they just execute accordingly, there's going to be very little to stop them. Z-Freak goes, takes flight, sees if there's any sort of stragglers nearby, no one to get a hold of and drag on back, and that's going to be your last outer tower here from Leviathan going down. The bottom tier 2 will be dropped, and that is more comfortable room to work with. That secondary timer mod is a very puny one, and Complexity are very happy to see that.
And Leviathan no Roche is up again. They sent the Wolf to scout it. Complexity could do what they did last game and kind of bait Roche on. They're backing up pretty far, though, and if Leviathan are able to enter the Roche pit free, they just take Roche so fast, I think. But they're going to head to the jungle instead, and they'll see Swindle.
Ooh. In, out, blink. There's going to be the ult. Now they can't quite get the mobility out there. Omni Slash in the middle of the creep wave still does good damage. Sonic Wave to follow Z-Freak, going to get Lunaguna'd and taken down, but they also lose 2. Both supports already dropped. Shredder on the chase to go for Ziz. Wants to turn and fight as he pops the BKB. Shredder's got to get the hell out of there, and he makes his run. Jenkins will have to blink off to the side. He has 4 TPs, so plenty of TPs to get back to base, but that is not the fight Leviathan wanted. They lose 2. Shredder needs to step back and heal and stop the push, and that's Complexity getting a free Aegis.
Yep, that's their Roshan, and that, you give Aegis to Ziz, maybe does he have room for it? He could drop, no, I don't know, I think he gives it to Swindle, and Swindle goes up to the high ground. With that, maybe wait for Omni Slash, maybe wait for your BKB and then head back towards that bottom lane, or even mid, one of those 2 lanes. Push out mid first and foremost, which is what Squee is doing. Because they can't get Roshan, it's so difficult. Almost getting the cheese and denying the Aegis, but the Wolf was not able to get there in time. Zisu's got to use his teleport, cancel real quick, get a free slot in his inventory, take the cheese, has the gem as well. And I just think that if you're Leviathan, you have to have one heck of a team fight here, otherwise your road is ending.
And for Complexity, they can just taste victory at this point. And moving to that next round puts them at 1 step away from making it here at the LAN. Leviathan, though, they don't want to go out like that. They will fight to the bitter end here. And they just are going to be all in on this high ground defense with a team that necessarily isn't the best with high ground defense. They have great wave clear, don't get me wrong. Your Sonic Wave will definitely be up at the ready to try to stall things out a bit, but it's just going to be Complexity who just continue to farm the majority of this map, and they will always be 1, 2, 3 steps ahead. Leviathan just have to hope that the stars will align in a good team fight.
Well, they do have the Assault Cuirass now, which is something.
He's buying out, yeah.
He's not even saving for buyback. He has it available, he's just not going for it. He's thinking that at this point they need an extra item to work with, otherwise they're just going to lose regardless of him having buyback or not. And if he has to buyback, he won't have his Shapeshift probably, he won't have his Necrobook probably, so it's better just to go all in at this point is what he's thinking. And I don't blame him at all. So for complexity now, it comes down to getting the initiation. They even have an Ag's finger up for Squee. He is the level 3 Finger of Death. The damage is 1025 in an AoE, a small AoE, but it's an AoE at that. There's an Abyssal for Ziz. He's got every bash possible. He's an Abyssal Blade and an MKB, so there's that. He does about 300, almost 400 damage, so...
And before crit, which will be there pretty frequently at 35%.
Yeah, that's pretty good. There's the refresher, so double Laguna could easily take somebody down. And if they don't have Juggernaut, then all of a sudden the fight gets a bit easier for Leviathan, even if you do have to go through 2 Vipers, which he's pretty tanky.
Ooh.
All right, well, we'll see you later, Creepwave. It's been nice knowing you.
Coming out from the screen, plus a finger the other way. The Creepwave going down for pretty much both sides on that. Complexity continued to just kind of keep the pressure there. Don't allow Leviathan to feel comfortable to go out the front door and find farm anywhere. Complexity, man, that was the last summit where they made it to the finals of the qualifier with Not Today. It was Not Today who did best them. But Complexity, maybe not the same roster, but they want a second chance. Looking pretty
Swindles
good.
certainly remember, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we're shaping up to be, it could theoretically be those 2 teams again in the losers bracket finals, and there's definitely that option. But Complexity still have to finish this game off first, which they are so far ahead. 20,000 net worth, 20,000 experience. They were in this situation last game. They prolonged the game as long as possible to make sure they had every ounce of farm they possibly could get. And it's pretty much the same thing here. I mean, maybe they even wait for Zeus to get his Ag Scepter, which is like 1,000 gold away. We could be witnessing another one of those 50, 60-minute games, man.
Yep. It was funny. It was the other side of the coin. Leviathan taking out E-Hug. Leviathan were the 1 game away from moving on, and they were at that bit of a stalemate against Corey and his sniper on E-Hug's side, where it was just not easy even to take down that final Rax to get Megas. Eventually, after what felt like 20, 25 minutes of time, they were able to kind of finally bulldoze themselves into the base and get a hold of that little sniper. But now it's Complexity who need to find their opening to kind of finish this game out. Could be here in the mid lane. We'll see. Swindle with Aegis and a heart. This is a very, very durable Viper who is not going to be hit or taken down easily. So he's just going to be his own one-man sieging unit.
So much for Viper becoming not as effective. He's just as effective as when he started this game, but more so as a tanker than he is as a damage dealer. Although he does do a lot of damage as well. He could just start spamming out his Viper Strike. I don't think he has vision. They throw up the Sonic Wave. It's pretty short cooldown, but it's not short enough where you can throw that up willy-nilly. They kind of have to use it as wave clear, but Swindle, he clearly doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's going for the tier 3 tower, and he's going to get it quickly. And they're just keeping him on the high ground. You have an Aegis up on a Viper. There's no reason to overextend. And you really can't go on the Viper because he's just going to take so long to kill. Then they wrap it on the backside and kill you.
Well, they got to do something because they're going to lose Rax. I understand it's a hard situation, but you might need to just do a Hail Mary at this point. Jump over the wall. Yeah, something.
Do anything. Literally anything. Nope. Zebra's going to take a Viper Strike. They'll take a lot of damage from that. Melee Rax is getting assaulted, and Leviathan are on their last legs here. They've got to do something. Jenkins can jump in, and he will. They're going to find somebody. No, Sonic Wave. The last is going to go. Jenkins going to get caught. Finger flies. Jenkins surviving. Finally goes down. 2 dead, 3 dead. 5 back from Jenkins immediately. Swindle gets cold feeded, but Shredder's trying to do all that he can. Sonic Wave on the backside. The Laguna Blade finally blows up the Juggernaut. He's going to buy back into the game. Swindle still doing so much work. The Viper Strike. Shredder is going to fall. It looks like to the Poison Touch he will. Doesn't have buyback. That should be game, man. That should be it. Abyssal even onto Shibby with a Blink Dagger, and then the Omni Slash. The finger to end it all. New Shame is going to fall. GG is called. Good luck further. Yep. Well played to Complexity in this game.
Very well done, Complexity. They managed to take down Leviathan 2-0. Credit to Leviathan. They look good. They buckled down to their gamer house. They put up some impressive wins to get to this point. And, well, they go out like men. Good luck further, they say to Complexity, and they might need it here. Now Complexity get in a better position as they will make it into the lower bracket finals where they await their challenger. It will be the loser of our next series coming up, which is between Evil Geniuses and Not Today. But man, oh man, what a hell of a series. They're long, Maut. They're exhausting. We got some pauses. We got some DCs and hiccups along the way, but there it is. And, well, Any last thoughts on the series? Just overall fatigue I could feel right here.
The tiredness is real, although we still have another series, which I'm super hyped for. Congratulations to Complexity. They're not done yet. They have to get another victory. I really don't know about Leviathan's draft. I think that Complexity they played better, they drafted better, and Leviathan, they just can't get over that hump of, getting to the losers bracket finals, the losers bracket semifinals. It seems like they've been in this position so often. And they have to make some changes. Of course, it's not the TI qualifiers just yet, but they have some work to do before then, and I'm excited for this next series, man. Can't wait.
Yep, and that next series is going to be coming up, I believe, in about 1 hour's time. I believe it will be set to start at 7 p.m. Pacific. That is 10 p.m. Eastern. CEST, I'm not too sure, but I'll have it up on the splash screen for you. If you want to show your support for myself and for Maut, catch me on my Twitter at KotLGuy and catch Maut over at MautDota. We're beyond the summit here, so hit that follow button and show some love. And if you're looking for some more Dota action, stick around. We got about 1 hour for you to go eat, go use the restroom, whatever the hell you got to do. But be right back because we got an exciting matchup. EG will be facing off against Not Today in just a moment. See you soon.